rema baye, miti bella rema, kulu baye ba. Yala miti bella rema baye, miti bella rema nem kulu baye ba. Utemo piragi white.
Hi guys, it's Faith the Black Wanderess. I hope you're doing well and keeping safe. Today's video will have information that will be useful for those people that are planning a trip to Uganda. But before we go any further, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and also share. It is really appreciated. So first things first, before planning any trip, it's important to check that you have the correct documentation. So if you're planning to go, you need to make sure you have one of these, a passport or a residency card or permit, all of which are okay to travel with. So with your passport, please make sure that you have a minimum of 6 months validity upon entry into the country, which is standard practice when you're traveling abroad. Once you have verified that you have the correct documentation that you need, the next thing to check is if you need to apply for a visa. So if you're from one of the countries that I'm going to list below, you are really lucky, you are exempt, and you do not need to apply for a visa to enter the country. For the rest of us, unfortunately, we do. So the process has two ways that you can apply for a visa. Option one is that you apply for an e-visa, so that's online. And then option two is to pay and apply for your visa at point of entry. So I have never personally used the e-visa application. However, I've heard really mixed reviews. A lot of people have told me that actually it is a complete pain and they would not recommend it. Other people have actually said for them it was really peace of mind to know that they had the visa before they even boarded the plane. I have always just paid my $50 at Entebbe Airport and got the stamp in my passport and been on my way. So really it depends on what works best for you. The next thing that you're going to need, and I laugh as I say this because it is so important, you truly will never value a piece of yellow paper more than you value this. This is a yellow fever vaccination certificate. So they will not let you into the country if you do not have one of these. I am not kidding you. It is really important that you had the vaccination and that you had the certificate to prove it. So I have many family members who have travelled to Uganda and for whatever reason they didn't have the certificate with them. Some of them, it's just a simple mistake, they forgot it at home. Some of them thought, I don't need it, I'll just chance it and I'll see if they let me in. This is what's going to happen to you if you decide to travel to the country without the certificate. They will give you two options. Option one is to turn around, walk back to the airplane and go home. I will repeat, they will tell you to turn around and go home. Option two is that they will vaccinate you right there in the airport, and of course you will have to pay for the pleasure. Now, I personally don't like either option, and definitely I don't want to be vaccinated somewhere that I'm not comfortable and then pay for it, and it's most likely more expensive than what you would have paid for at home. So it's not worth it, guys. Just talk to your travel clinic or your GP and get the vaccination. It is just get it done. I will not be happy if I hear that you've travelled to Uganda after watching this video and you didn't have your certificate. Like, I will not feel sorry for you. There are other vaccinations that you will need, so take a look at places like the World Health Organization webpage and also travel clinics to make sure you're vaccinated and you're up to date. You definitely don't want to travel anywhere and then get sick. Most important thing is that you travel safely, okay? The other thing that you're going to need to take is your antimalarial drugs. So in my experience, there are two main antimalarial drugs that you can take. It may differ for those of you that are not from the UK, but for us, we have Malarone and doxycycline. So I have had the pleasure of trying both antimalarial drugs. So I first tried doxycycline when I travelled to Nigeria a few years ago. Gosh, many years ago, like 10 years ago. And I had an awful experience. I was nauseous, I had hallucinations, and I had pretty awful dreams, nightmares. So At that time, I thought maybe it was just me, but I also spoke to my dad, and my dad said that he had the same experience on doxycycline. So it's not for me. It may be for you. Everybody reacts differently to different drugs. With doxycycline, the positive of that is that it is the cheaper of the two per tablet. But unfortunately, you have to take it for a much longer course of time. And I personally don't enjoy taking a lot of tablets. So if you're the same, doxycycline most likely will not be for you. The other option, of which I've been using for years now, is Malarone. So Malarone is more expensive. Generally, I've seen quotes for Malarone ranging from £2 to £3.50 per tablet. So with Malarone, you need to take it at least one day before you travel, each day while you're there, and for 7 days upon your return. It's a lot shorter dosage period than doxycycline, but it is more expensive. So depending on your circumstances, the price may factor in your decision. But with all medication and all vaccinations, please do talk to your GP, somebody that is obviously qualified, unlike me, to give you the exact advice that you need for your travel. So please, 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 I stress it enough, is double check with your GP what you need. So those are all the important things that are kind of done with and out of the way. The other useful things that I would suggest that you take with you when you're traveling are a travel phone. So this is key, unless you want to be paying extortionate bills on your home phone. I would suggest that if you can, is take a travel phone and then buy a SIM card at the airport. So once you landed in Entebbe, you can buy a SIM card for either MTN or Airtel, which are the two most popular network providers in UG. And then you're good to go. I personally use MTN because MTN, most of my friends and family are on that network, so it's cheaper to call each other, and then also they have really good social media packages. So I generally always use MTN, and most of the people I know do as well. But it really depends on what you're after. If you're not really into social media, MTN might not be great for you, but just ask me or ask somebody that you know in the country what they suggest, and just take it from there. The other useful thing that I would suggest that you take, and I don't go anywhere without it, is my power bank. Now this has got me out of some really tricky situations. If you haven't travelled to somewhere like UG before, you may not be aware that electricity is at best unreliable. Sometimes you can go a day or two without having any electricity at all. So if you want to stay connected, if you want to be able to use your phone, definitely I would advise you buying a power bank that has a lot of charge in it. So this one I think holds about 3 chargers in, so I know I'm going to be okay with the phone for a few days. Another useful tip is something you probably wouldn't have thought about, but buy one of these. It's a travel weighing scale, like a luggage scale. And the reason why I suggest that you have this is because Entebbe Airport doesn't have those free scales that you can use to weigh your luggage. So if you're like me and you don't travel light, I always come back with things, and I never want to pay the excess baggage fees. I mean, who does? So if you have one of these, you can obviously weigh your luggage before you get to the airport. And another thing to note about Entebbe Airport is that nobody can actually come into the airport with you. So nobody can enter the departure lounge with you like they do in Heathrow or Gatwick, or up until the security point, whoever's accompanied you is next to you. The only people that are allowed into the departure lounge are people that have documentation stating that they have a flight to catch. So you don't want to be in a situation where you've got your check-in desk, they're weighing your luggage, you don't want to pay excess fees, and you don't want to throw away things either. You can't actually just turn around and say to somebody, can you take this home for me? It's a horrible situation to be in. So a few pounds or a few dollars and getting yourselves one of these could save you a lot of stress. Another thing that I would definitely suggest that you do is take some of your currency with you. So if you have dollars or sterling, it is really useful because once you get to Kampala, you can change money. So I would definitely suggest, if you are going further afield than Kampala, that you exchange your currency for shilling actually in Kampala. So I usually spend most of my time up country, in the north of the country, and you will not get the same exchange rates that you do in Kampala up country or anywhere else in the country at all. So I would suggest that you change some money in the city. So personally speaking, Arua Park in Kampala is a great place to exchange your money, simply because there's so many currency exchange vendors there. So literally they're door to door and above each other, so you can actually compare all their rates and just go for the best one. Another tip is, please do not let your money out of your sight. I've heard some people have had bad experiences, not just in Uganda but other places, where they've gone to exchange their money. The cashier has said, I'm going to check with my supervisor, or some story, and then they've swapped the notes for fake notes. So please do not let your cash out of your sight, and just feel comfortable with the whole transaction. I hope that's been really informative and useful. I plan on making more of these types of videos, not just based on Uganda, but my other travels throughout Europe and different African countries as well. If there's anything in particular that you guys want me to talk about, please feel free to put it in the comment section or interact with me on Instagram. I have been really kind of like overwhelmed with the feedback that I've received. So I've had interactions with people as far as New Zealand, India, Greece, the States, and I'm just like overwhelmed with how you guys have just received me. So I just want to say thank you. I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate all the likes and the shares that I see.